Well, I want to talk about Silicon Valley fascism.
He's clearly a technocrat.
Andrew Yang, I'm speaking of, but because he's obviously a Joe.
Since Andrew Yang and UBI have burst onto the American political scene over the past several weeks, something strange happened that I didn't expect. Yang and UBI have been getting attacked from the left. Some of these criticisms have legitimate points that I'd like to try to address, but a lot of the commentary has been based on what seems to me to be at best misunderstandings and at worst baseless ideological attacks that I feel like I shouldn't have to refute, but I will anyway. A liberal defense of UBI. While UBI has had backing from some conservative and libertarian thinkers, I think that says more about the simplicity and power of the idea than about where it lies on our modern American political spectrum. At the end of the day, this is a $2 trillion program with the stated goal of going where the money
is, not where the money isn't.
If we want to stick to our standard American labels, there should be no doubt about it. This is a very progressive policy. I'd go as far as saying this is the most progressive policy put forth by any presidential candidate in modern American history. Free college, raising the minimum wage, and even Medicare for all, which by the way Yang is also for, don't match the transfer of wealth from the top 1% to the rest that UBI would provide. MLK was for UBI and saw it as the next logical step for civil rights. Rutger Bregman, the Dutch historian who recently went viral for telling billionaires to pay more in taxes, is not only for UBI, but wrote an entire book that is largely dedicated to the idea, along with a 15-hour workweek and open borders. Robert Reich, Yanis Varoufakis, and even Noam frickin' Chomsky have talked favorably about the idea. If UBI isn't progressive, then nothing is. Techno-libertarian smears and other BS. If UBI is as liberal a policy as I claim, then what's causing these attacks from the left? I'm not totally sure, but I think one factor is Yang's background. He's a successful entrepreneur, so for hardcore Marxists, they may be seeing bad intentions where there are none. But the guy isn't some selfish capitalist grifter. He spent 7 years working in a nonprofit to try to help America's ailing cities, and has one of the most progressive platforms in the race. If you have your doubts about him, I'd encourage you to look at his incredible laundry list of over 80 proposed policies. They're a mix of innovation and common sense, with a whole lot of very liberal ideas thrown in. Here's just a few that I think we can agree are very not capitalist grifter. Overturning Citizens United, decriminalizing opioids, ranked choice voting, aggressive action against climate change including a carbon tax, reducing mass incarceration including getting rid of private prisons and ending the war on drugs, legalizing marijuana, body cams for police, a financial transaction tax, and a whole lot more. Or just watch some interviews with the guy. It seems like a lot of the disdain from the left is coming from people who haven't even given him a chance.
He said, what is it called? The
UBI.
Thank you, UBI.
When you can't pronounce UBI, you know you have a problem. Yang Clan. So there's been this meme going around that Yang is somehow in cahoots with white nationalists, even though 1, he's Asian, 2, he's the son of immigrants, and 3, there's literally nothing in his policies that would be anti-immigrant or quote, pro-white. He's for a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. He's for the DREAM Act. I guess if you think securing the border is anti-immigrant, then there's that, but isn't everyone for a secure border? Okay, then if it's not his policies, where does this white nationalist accusation come from? Like everything on the internet, it comes down to tweets and memes. Here's a thread that got Yang into some hot water. He talks about America becoming majority-minority by 2045. Besides using the oxymoron of a lifetime, people were upset because they thought he was race-baiting. I can at least see where people are coming from on this one. But if you look at the tweet in context and look at it even just a little bit charitably, I think it's extremely likely that the guy is just warning about rising social tensions, which in a time of Trump and Charlottesville seems pretty reasonable to me. Alright, another tweet. This one's about deaths outnumbering births for white people in most of the country. Again, I can see the case for dog whistling, and if this was the only issue he was talking about, I would definitely be concerned. But he tweets out a lot, and he's linking to a New York Times article here. Is the New York Times race baiting or a white nationalist organization? If the answer is no, then why is Yang out of line for tweeting this out? He's denounced the support of Richard Spencer or any other white nationalist who may have backed him.
Yeah, I've already disavowed the support of anyone who has any kind of agenda of hatefulness or racism.
I think if you look at Yang and his campaign objectively, there's no way he's a white nationalist or anything close. So can we please look past uncharitable interpretations of a couple tweets? I will say this. Some of his supporters on social media are a bit unsavory. But again, I'd encourage any viewer out there that isn't sure to just check out Yang and his policies yourself. Don't let a few misguided memers taint your opinion. I'm sure David Duke likes water. That doesn't make water bad. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make an outro for this, but in case I don't, This is going to be a 2-part video series because it takes too long. And part 2 is going to have legitimate criticisms about Yang, so stay tuned for that one. Subscribe, and I was going to say something. Fuck. Oh, watch the Pac-Man interview. It's really good and should hopefully alleviate any fears about Yang, at least from the left. Ooh!